Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the food you eat and meet the unseen architects of your health. These are the hidden workers, constantly building, repairing, and fueling your body. So let's dive right in.
We all think about calories, don't we? But have you ever stopped to wonder what's really going on under the hood? What are those secret ingredients that turn your lunch into a living, breathing, functioning you? That's exactly what we're going to blueprint today.
I want you to think of your body as a massive, non-stop construction site. And to get any job done, you need a full workforce, right? Well, in your body, that workforce is split into two main crews.
On one side, you have your macronutrients. These are the heavy lifters, your fats, your carbs, your proteins. They provide the raw energy and the big building materials, kind of like the concrete and steel beams of the project. But then you've got the micronutrients, and this is where vitamins live. Think of them as the specialists, the project managers, the electricians, the plumbers. They don't provide energy themselves, but trust me, absolutely nothing gets done right without them.
So what exactly are vitamins? Here's the most important thing to remember. They are essential organic substances that our bodies have to have, but, and this is the big catch, we just can't make enough of them on our own. That means we absolutely must get them from our diet. They are, quite literally, vital for life.
Okay, so instead of me just reading off a boring list of letters, let's bring a few of these all-stars to life. We'll look at the critical jobs they do and what happens when they decide not to show up for work.
First up, let's talk about a true crisis. Just imagine the mortar holding the bricks of your body together starting to crumble. Now, this isn't science fiction. It's exactly what happens when you're missing one key vitamin, leading to a disease that sailors from long ago knew all too well: scurvy.
You see, without this particular vitamin, your body's ability to make collagen, which is basically the superglue that holds you together, just grinds to a halt, and the results are devastating. As you can see here, everything from your gums to your skin just starts to fall apart. The hero that prevents all of this? Vitamin C.
And that's because vitamin C isn't just a bystander, it's an active participant. It's a cofactor, which means it's the master craftsman on the job site, making sure that collagen mortar is mixed perfectly so it can do its job and keep you strong.
Let's move on to another huge problem: the issue of soft, weak bones. Now, you can eat all the calcium in the world, but without its project manager, that calcium is totally useless. And this is exactly where vitamin D steps onto the scene.
This breaks down the simple but super powerful process. First, as you see in step 1, you get vitamin D from sunlight or food. Then, and this is key, it acts like a gatekeeper, telling your intestines to open the door and absorb calcium. And finally, as you see in step 3, it manages the calcium levels in your blood to make sure your bones get everything they need to stay tough, preventing things like rickets in kids.
Okay, some vitamins are real team players. The B vitamins are a fantastic example of this, and their relationships can get pretty complex. So let's take a look at the intricate dance between folate, which is B9, and vitamin B12.
This is so fascinating. If you're deficient in B12, your body can't properly use the folate that you're eating. The folate literally gets trapped in a form the body can't use for its number one job, making DNA. And without new DNA, your body can't make new red blood cells correctly, which leads to a type of anemia. It's a perfect example of how a shortage of one vitamin can cause a complete breakdown with another.
So we know we need these vitamins, for sure, but that brings up a really important question. How much is too little, and is there such a thing as too much? Let's figure out how to find that just right amount.
This is the question, isn't it? Luckily, scientists have created a whole framework to help us out, and it's called the Dietary Reference Intakes, or DRIs. You can think of it as the official operating manual for your body's nutritional needs. So this DRI framework has three key parts. You've got the EAR, which is the amount that meets the needs for about half of us. Then you have the RDA, and that's the daily goal for pretty much everyone. And finally, there's the UL. That's the safety ceiling you really don't want to go past. This bar chart shows that Goldilocks zone perfectly. The RDA is your daily target. It's set high enough to cover the needs of about 98% of healthy people. But take a look at the UL, the upper intake level. Going above this, especially with supplements, can actually become toxic. So the key takeaway is that the RDA is the target. More is definitely not always better. All right, we've met the micronutrient supervisors. Now let's circle back to the heavy lifters, the macronutrients that provide our actual energy. If our body is like a high-performance engine, what's the perfect fuel blend?
How should we balance our intake of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins for both daily energy and our long-term health?
Well, the answer is in something called the Acceptable Macronutrient Distribution Range, or AMDR. As this chart shows, the general goal is to get 45 to 65% of your calories from carbs, 20 to 35% from fats, and 10 to 35% from protein. Staying within those ranges gives you plenty of energy and helps lower the risk of chronic diseases down the line.
Now, when we talk about that 20 to 35% of calories from fat, it's so important to know that they are not all created equal. As this table shows, some fats, like trans fats, raise your bad LDL cholesterol. But then you have others, like the monounsaturated fats you find in things like olive oil and nuts, that can help lower it and improve your heart health.
And what about protein, the body's actual building blocks? The RDA for an average adult is about 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. So just to give you an idea, for a person who weighs 70 kilograms, that's around 56 grams a day. It's a really good concrete target to aim for to make sure your body has all the materials it needs for constant repairs.
So, we've covered the specialists, the fuel source, and the operating manual. What's the big takeaway from all this? How do we use this knowledge to start building our own health blueprint?
The really crucial point isn't to memorize every single vitamin function or RDA number. It's to understand the core principles. Your body is this deeply interconnected system. The vitamins, the fats, the carbs, the proteins, they all work together. A balanced, varied diet makes sure that your entire workforce shows up every single day ready to get the job done right. You now have the fundamental blueprint for understanding how your nutrition actually works. You know about the workers, you know about the fuel, and you know about the instructions.